Paper Mario on the Nintendo Switch. Paper Mario the Origami King, it's called, is coming out in less than 2 months. What? Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. You can tell I'm a big fan of the Paper Mario series. I think the original games were absolutely fantastic, and since then it's kind of lost its way. This game, Paper Mario and the Origami King, I originally wasn't that excited for. To give you some background, I think everyone was predicting that there was going to be a Paper Mario game on the Nintendo Switch this year. I'm pretty sure Color Splash was the most recent release, and that one was in 2016. So it's been almost 4 years since we've had a Paper Mario game, so the timing of it really made sense. And I had no idea what to expect. Some people were throwing around the origami idea, and they actually went with that. The game's probably been in production by Intelligent Systems for a few years. With everything going on in the world right now, I wasn't sure if the game was going to happen. So first of all, the trailer drops at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on a random day, no warning whatsoever, and then the game's going to be released July 17th, less than 2 months from today, just over 2 months after the trailer was dropped. We're going to have a brand new Mario game on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think Nintendo's ever done this before. So here's some background as well. Paper Mario on the N64, this is when I wear nostalgia goggles. This game is my childhood. For some reason, this is my favorite game of all time. The reasons is that it is one connected world. I love the partners in this game. There are 8 chapters. After each chapter, you can play a little bit as Princess Peach. I just had great memories of this. My sister would play as the Princess Peach elements when I was growing up. I love the fact that there was badges and star pieces and things to collect and all these funny characters. And not only was there like a character like this, but he just had a little bit more personality to him because he has like a band-aid on, or Bo is holding something, or Parakarry is delivering mail. All the characters had a purpose and they were really interesting, and the entire world just really felt connected. And you level up as an RPG system. That's what I love about Paper Mario. Next, my wife's favorite game from the series, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. I think there is no doubt that this is a better game than the game on the N64. I think it upped almost everything. I still love the characters in them. We even have another guy here wearing a band-aid in a different way, but all these side characters, and the Yoshi kid, you get to name the Yoshi kid. There's a side character that you might get on your team, but you don't need to. It just felt like it was better in almost every way, especially the crowd system and the action commands. You could get a little bit more out of them with the crowd that was watching and around you and everything. So this game still had the partners, it still had the love, you had some 2D elements, you actually could play as Bowser a little bit, you could fold yourself into paper, kind of like origami in a little bit of a way, gigantic bosses. This is probably the best game in the series in my opinion. Okay, after that, I played Super Paper Mario, of course, on the Nintendo Wii. This is no longer an RPG. This is more of an action-adventure game. You can turn the world from 3D into 2D. You can chase down enemies in that case. But your partners, your sidekicks, are all these kind of, I want to call them, I think they're called pixels or something like that. They didn't have as much characters as class. Like, here's another example of what they are. They just don't feel as connected. You could get together with some of the other Mario characters in this game, and there were some really good aspects of this game, particularly the writing in this game is fantastic. That's what's true across almost all of these games, is that the writing is really good. However, this game to me, because it was not an RPG, it just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel like one huge connected world. Most of the time you were in 2D. It did have one cool world, but it wasn't the same. Then Sticker Star happened. So in Sticker Star, you need to use stickers to do battles, and once you use the sticker, it's kind of gone. You had to use very specific stickers to solve certain puzzles. It was really weird because there's like real world puzzles that have like a fan that you have to use, or this giant cat, I guess. And this game just felt like a step backwards. It definitely was not even close to the best of the series. Paper Jam feels more like a Mario and Luigi game than it does anything else. And then there's Color Splash. Color Splash artistically looks fantastic. I love the fact that you can use your hammer as a sort of paintbrush to fill in parts of the world. However, so many of the characters are just toads. all of the characters feel like they're on repeat, and it really feels like that game lost a lot of the charm that it had in the past. And also, there was a level select system that was a world map very similar to Super Mario Bros. 3, or Super Mario World, or Super Mario 3D World. It wasn't one connected world, and you didn't ever have to battle unless it was like a requirement of a boss. You could purposely just run around and not encounter everyone in the game. You also had cards on your Wii U gamepad. You had to like press down on the card and fill it in, and then do like 4 or 5 other actions until you could actually swipe the card up and battle. It was just so weird. Let's go all the way back to the roots. Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the Seven Stars. This is the precursor to Paper Mario. Since Square Enix made it, we couldn't have these characters, the ones that Square Enix invented, like Smithy, in the game again, ever again. And because of that, that's why Nintendo made Super Mario RPG 2, but it was also called Mario Story, which turned into Paper Mario in North America. It's still called Mario Story in Japan. I feel like these games should have been keeping that moniker, keeping that name, Mario Story, because it's supposed to be driven by great storytelling, great characters, as well as gameplay that I personally love the RPG element. So these games still felt like Mario Story games, these two in particular, and then after this, Super Paper Mario still felt like Mario Story, and then it kind of lost its way for a while. Tons of people made videos like, not my Paper Mario, and I completely agree with them for Color Splash. It just is not what we wanted. So with Origami King, it feels like we're going back to what we wanted. It feels like we're going back to the games on the N64, even the GameCube, and a little bit of the Wii as well. It takes elements from all of them. I think from the trailer, what I'm seeing is that it is an RPG. I'm hoping we get partners. It seems like Bob-omb, that one character, might be a partner, and the Toad that looks like he's an archaeologist, might be a partner as well. So I'm really excited for that. The world looks like it's an open world. There's save blocks. There's the best graphics I've seen. So let's go through maybe what it's getting out of most of these games. What did it take from all of them? Toad Town looks a lot like Toad Town from Paper Mario on the N64. The scale of it seems really similar. There's a port, there's a gondola system, which is kind of new, but it seems like it's the hub world for everything, and it also looks very similar to the castle from this game and Super Mario 64 to the Origami King. When Peach is standing there, it seems like when Peach is standing there at the top of the trailer, and she's talking to Mario and then drops him through that hole, basically, it looks like a lot like she's possessed. Almost possessed like Peach was, spoilers, from Paper Mario, a little bit of spoiler, but not really, and the Shadow Queen when she's possessed. That seems really similar to this. The crowd system seems remarkably similar to the Thousand Year Door. In this game, there's a crowd system that watches you. If you do well, they cheer for you, and the crowd fills up more and more, and they give you more, I think, star power, basically. And the more star power, you can do some of your special attacks that you gained from previous chapters in the game. You can also do action commands, and if you time your jump perfectly, for example, you can jump on a character, bounce off, do a cool move in the air, then jump off of him again. If you're using your hammer, as soon as it hits the ground, you can do a backflip, then another backflip, then a third backflip, and the crowd would cheer. The crowd would throw things at your enemies. They would throw things at you for some reason. They would throw things to help you sometimes. They were involved. In the Origami King, we're getting that exact same crowd, or similar to that crowd, but now it's all the way around you, kind of in 3D with that ring system. Also in these two games, we have characters that have HP that you obviously whittle down. But in Origami King, with the ring system, you have to line up everyone now when you go to attack them, which makes it a little bit better. Now, in the attack of the trailer that we got in North America, it didn't seem like you had partners. But in other trailers of the world, I think maybe China, Japan, or France, it actually said like the hammer option and the jump option, and it seemed like there were partners in battle with you, so I really hope we get partners similar to these games here. What I wouldn't mind seeing as well is the story feels really similar kind of to all of these. It feels like it's a unique story. I don't know exactly what the full story is, but I meant like the villain from Super Paper Mario, he seems really kind of like, it feels like Origami King's almost inspired by this, and inspired by the Shadow Queen, and inspired by previous games, which I love. It's going back to their roots. When Nintendo released a trailer for Super Mario Odyssey, and in that Direct, They talked about how Odyssey is going back. It's going back to its roots of 3D open games. Nintendo said specifically, this is like return to roots for Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, and now Super Mario Odyssey. They told us flat out that's what it was. Because this wasn't a direct, and they just dropped the trailer out of nowhere, they couldn't answer any of our questions. They couldn't say, yes, this is an RPG game, and yes, you have partners, and yes, it's one connected world. Not really an open world, but a connected world. But we can't get those answered, because it wasn't a direct. And I think this is what Nintendo has to do for 2020. They're just going to say, all right, this is a random day, let's drop the trailer. 2 months later, a game comes out. I expect that for 3D World, I expect that for Pikmin 3, and maybe one other game, at least from Nintendo, that we don't even know about, if they can make that happen this year. I am so excited to play the Origami King. When I first watched the trailer, I was kind of like, I don't know what to think. I wasn't sure. I ran and I showed my wife the trailer so that she could watch it too. It seems cool. The characters seem like they're going to have some personality, especially with that Toad that's the archaeologist. The Bob-omb seems kind of way too plain, but I'm looking at all the partners we've had in the past, and most of them have had something about them to make them look unique in some way. Like Parakarry. Oh man, love all the partners in these games. In these two games in particular, of course. So I wouldn't mind if they bring some aspects of color splash. I wouldn't even mind if your hammer could fill in paint, but that's not what it looks like the gameplay. It looks like your arms have these like 1,000-fold arms or something in the game that you can solve some puzzles with. It looks like characters will be transferred or transformed into regular paper characters into origami characters. So anyone who's a paper character might be friendly, anyone who's origami might not be. There are elements to it that feel so much like Wind Waker. You can go in the boat and you can travel to different islands while you're in that purple ground desert. There was part of the ground that was glowing that looks like exactly like Wind Waker when you're in the ocean, that you can like dig there, or you can use your grappling hook or whatever and you can pull stuff up basically from the ground or from the bottom of the ocean. There's toad houses. There's so much to the trailer now that I break it down and I look at it that it's truly exciting. The game's going to be out July 17th. It's a week after my wife's birthday. I'm so excited to play it. I can't wait. I just didn't think I would be that excited for Paper Mario because honestly, after I felt like this series peaked years ago, I felt like it kind of took a wrong turn. And I think a lot of people agree with me. And if they're actually listening to the fans and going back to the roots, I'm so excited. I hope there's chapters. I hope that we do have partners throughout the game. I hope the characters aren't generic toads like they've been in more recent games and they actually have a lot of personality. I'm really excited for a thorough story that has the exact same writing that we're used to in Paper Mario games. And I just can't wait for July 17th, 2020. That's the release of Paper Mario on the Nintendo Switch. Comment below, what are your thoughts on the trailer? Make sure, I think I would really recommend that you watch the other gameplay that's from other areas of the world. It's out there, it's on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble by showing it on this channel. That's why I'm using my props and things like that. But I'm really excited. Comment below, what are your thoughts and everything? And if I said anything that you agree with or disagree with. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to fill that like bucket. Follow me on all the social media platforms. I am playing through live on Twitch Super Mario games. Right now I'm finishing off 3D World with my wife. We're playing through it together. I'm streaming on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday around 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I am going to be playing Paper Mario on the N64, and then I'm going to play through Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door live on Twitch. There's a link in the description below if you would like to watch. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly some other days as well. 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Paper Mario N64, and then The Thousand Year Door. I'll be playing through those as well. Go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming. Thanks for watching, everyone.